Senator Bernie Sanders is an independent Vermont. He's forcing a vote tomorrow to block nearly $500 million in arms sales to Israel amid this war, which does, at least in Lebanon and Israel, continue. And he joins me now. Senator, let me just start with the context here of the way the president acts, which he acts in an aberrant fashion and has for 10 years. But the way that he's acting now, which seems particularly aberrant in some ways, and particularly dangerous because he started a war that remains the background context in which real people have died and real people have been injured and hasn't been brought to any discernible resolution, as far as I can tell, at least.
Look, Chris, clearly we have a mentally unstable president of the United States. He lies all the time. The image of himself as a divine being, a Christ-like figure, is insulting to not only Catholics, but the people all over the world. This is a guy who wants to have half of the buildings in the country named after him, who allowed Netanyahu, who has been trying for 40 years to get a president to support a war with Iran. With Trump, Netanyahu succeeded. What we're going to do tomorrow is bring forth two resolutions, which basically say, I think, what the American people want Congress to do. And that is, we cannot continue to fund the extremist government of Netanyahu, who has been waging an all-out war, genocidal war in Gaza, who started the war in Iran, who is violating all kinds of international law in the West Bank, killing Palestinians there, knocking down homes, and is now at war in an expansionist war in Lebanon, which, as you mentioned a moment ago, has not only killed thousands of people, it has displaced over 1 million people, and Israel now occupies something like 14% of the territory of Lebanon. And the American people are saying, is this really what we should continue spending billions of dollars on when we have so many problems at home? And I hope that tomorrow we get a good vote on those resolutions.
You know, in terms of problems at home, I mean, part of what's, remarkable about this turn of events is that it has exacerbated precisely the things that people are most concerned about: affordability, particularly being able to fill up their cars. I saw this incredible quote from Kevin Hassett, who's an economics advisor to the president, about the oil prices that I want to play for you and get your response to. Take a listen.
Imagine if oil prices start going back down because the situation resolves itself somehow, then you could be looking at inflation close to zero. So that's something that the Fed needs to pay attention to, because remember, energy prices going down would feed through just as, CPI, top line CPI has said energy prices going up right now.
I mean, I guess the idea is that if energy prices go down, it will be better, but energy prices are going up right now, which does.
This is his economic advisor. Well, God help us all. Look, the reality is Netanyahu's wars in Gaza, West Bank, Iran, Lebanon have not only been grossly immoral and destructive, but they are also impacting billions of people throughout the world. Here in the United States, we're having 60% of our people living paycheck to paycheck. And now what they're having to deal with is gas. In Vermont, I think it's over $4 a gallon. Parts of the country, it's higher than that. And that means less money for food, less money to be able to pay the rent. So what you are seeing is all across this country. You got Republicans who said, gee, this guy promised us that we would not get involved in never-ending wars. We would not get involved in the Mideast. This guy who said he was going to bring down prices, control inflation. And what do we got now? You got an endless war, which, by the way, may end up costing us $1 trillion. And Trump's thought is that when we spend that money, we can cut back on health care and child care to pay for the war. Pretty crazy stuff. And now we have an affordability crisis magnified because of the war. So that is why I think you're seeing people all over this country are saying, hey, what world is President Trump living in?
It's hard sometimes amidst in the Trump era to have sort of policy debates, because in some ways he doesn't care about policy, and he's so sort of detached from it, to be honest, that we don't have them a lot. But there was a moment I thought I wanted to get your response to. There's a moment where he does a little stunt yesterday with this. He has this woman who works for DoorDash, who comes and delivers McDonald's via DoorDash, and he gives her a tip. And it's meant to highlight this policy from the tax bill, which was an exemption on a certain amount of money that in tips, on taxes and tips. And I thought, actually, this is actually a kind of crystallizing moment of the Trump Republican approach to policy. And I want to play it for you and get your response. Because basically the idea is, here's a woman who works delivering food, who can now exempt some of her tips from taxes so that she could pay for her husband's cancer treatment. Take a listen.
So the no tax on tips is something special, right?
It's very special.
And that's the one that really pertains to you more than anything else.
Yes, sir. Yes.
It's fantastic. And so it's such an honor to meet you. And I think you voted for me, do you think?
Maybe.
You understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's
He
going
has
through
cancer.
some very serious cancer treatment, so
Yes, sir.
this goes a long way.
So that's it. I mean, but it is kind of crystallizing, right? Like that is the policy mechanism. We're going to exempt some of your taxes on tips so you can kick in for your husband's
I think he just
cancer
said
treatment.
this exemption on tips is going to go, quote unquote, a long way to pay for cancer treatment. Really? Really? I mean, you know, cancer treatment in this country costs hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. People are going bankrupt. They're depleting their financial savings, and that's his response. And it really, once again, shows you how far Trump and his oligarchic friends are from the reality facing working families.
Senator Bernie Sanders, who will be introducing those two bills for a vote, I think, tomorrow. I think it's a privilege resolution, right? So those will, I think, get a vote.
Right.
We will be looking for that tomorrow. Senator, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.